All right. There he is, Anthony Chang, ready to go. Oh man, how you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
Doing good, Big O. Anything going on today? What's going on today?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Portland Trailblazers, maybe waking up a little bit. You tell us what's going on.
Look, um, earlier this week, at the start of the week, from what I was told, things are still pretty quiet between the Heat and Blazers. I think, according to credible reports, Portland has started talking to other teams, but it seemed like conversations between the Heat and the Blazers were still not, they weren't really engaging the Heat in those talks. But it seems like things have changed a little bit in the last few days, last 24 hours. And
The phone just kept ringing from the 28 other teams, like no answer. Is that their problem?
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of what we've been talking about for the last month, Big O. As camp got closer, things are gonna pick up. Does it mean a deal is gonna get done? Obviously, we don't know that. We've seen deals come close and it falls apart. I don't know right now where things stand. I do know that things seem to be trending in a better direction for the Heat compared to 4 or 5 days ago. Um, but we'll just see the next 24 hours, later today, this weekend, next week. There's about 9, 10 days before media day.
It'll
If
happen,
they want to
bro.
get this deal done before then.
It's gonna happen. All this shit was posturing from the Blazers, and the reality is they're screwed, and they're gonna have to do it. And if they want a circus, then go. I saw one of those Portland riders. Oh, they're still ready to bring them to camp. No, they're not. That's a lie. If they do, then they're even more dysfunctional than what I think they are, to be
Right.
quite honest, because if you're willing to then have to answer those Dane Lillard questions every single day, and Scoot's going to have to answer those Dane questions every single day. And if you want that, you go ahead and knock yourselves out. Why don't you roll the tape with Stan Van Gundy and Dwight Howard and see how that worked out? You go ahead and do that, bro. That's going to be really productive for you. So, to me, this is why I haven't bought any of this crap. It just, unless you're just an absolutely lost franchise, you know, you're the Clippers under Donald Sterling. Unless you're something like that, a smart team is going to say, all right, sometimes, you got to hold them. You got to know when to hold them and know when to
No one
fold
to
them,
fold them. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
Kenny Rogers, the late great Kenny Rogers would say, it's time to fold them, bro. It's
Yeah.
time to fold them.
Yeah. And you've seen over the last week or so them trying to create a market, right? There's been
Yeah.
talks of other teams,
And
talking to other teams,
Woj
and
doing his best, kissing ass
sure.
and doing it and taking a bullet for the team so he can get 40 new more good stories and just mishandle this one. Yeah, they're all trying.
And look, yes, like I know a lot of people that will say Joe Cronin has mishandled the situation, but if this deal does happen, and let's say hypothetically DeAndre Ayton is involved and he goes to Portland in this type of deal, and somehow Portland comes away with DeAndre Ayton, Nikola Jovic, and/or Jaime Jaquez, and 2 or 3 Heat picks, I mean, that's a pretty good haul for
Yeah.
Portland in this scenario, in this situation,
Mhm.
considering where the way things unfolded. Damian Lillard saying only wants to go to the Heat. Not a big market for Damian Lillard. If they find a way to get that, I will say, maybe Joe Cronin didn't mishandle it as like we think, because that's a pretty good return. So we'll
Right.
just see, right? I mean, up to this point, it's kind of been. I know people have been kind of confused as why it's taken so long for the teams to kind of just talk again after things kind of picked up in July. It's been 2 months. But if it ends that way and the Portland does get a return like that, um, they really can't ask for more.
Yeah, no, and look, the Heat's job here is to do a responsible deal, one that leaves
Yeah.
you with a team that you could go out and challenge for a championship. Because if not, it's not worth making this move. You don't do the Carmelo Denver move. That makes zero sense to end up doing that. The Knicks gave up everything, and then Melo got his way, got his money, and got it in New York, but then he had no team around him. And so, and Melo wasn't a guy that was going to carry a team. Nobody really does that in the NBA. You're going to need help.
You need help, yeah.
To get to a title. This isn't Syracuse where you're in college and you can
just will a team.
You can Danny Manning the thing all the way to a title. Glenn Rice the thing all the way to a title like Melo did. You're not going to do that here, and you just can't do that if you're the Miami Heat. You got to make a trade, but you got to make a responsible trade here.
If they could find a way to get this type of deal done without including Tyler Hero, and I don't know if they'll be able to do that. I know there's been some talk on Twitter about that possibly happening because I guess Portland really doesn't want Tyler Hero, right? That's well known at this point. If they can find a way to get it done and make the money work without including Tyler Hero, yes, their cap sheet would be a nightmare next year because they'd have those 4 guys in the books at a lot of money. But I mean, if you could get a trade like this done without including your 3 best players and really your 4th best player in Caleb Martin, probably, that's pretty incredible.
But you got to get rid of Tyler. You have to get rid of Tyler, my man. You have to find a third team. No, you have to get rid of Tyler once you get Damian Lillard, and I'll tell you why. You've made 2 runs. It's proven. You don't need Tyler Hero. There's this connection that we have with fans and Tyler and the team that I just don't think it's realistic anymore. He's a nice kid and all that, but he's proven that he can't stay healthy over and over and over again. And then the team has proven that they don't need him at all. And that some of the young guys you have may be just as impactful and as serviceable as, a Caleb Martin. I'd almost rather give him the playing time than give Tyler, because I'm going to get more on the defensive end than I am from this guy. And when I get Damian Lillard, I don't need him nearly as much anymore. Scoring, his ball handling, I don't need it. I have my clutch guy down the stretch. I've got Damian Lillard to be the clutch guy, down the stretch. That's my problem with all of this. And then we'll get to the other part. You just said, if you keep the 4 guys in the salary, I'm sorry, dude, Mickey Harrison is not going to.
The tax bill would be very expensive this year.
Exactly, bro. Mickey ain't gonna carry that kind of tax, man.
If Tyler was to stay on the roster in this hypothetical situation, he would have to accept the 6-man role again, right? That's the only way that would even work. I mean, there's no way you can't start him, Damian Lillard, Bam, and Jimmy together. There's only one ball, right? So it would be with him understanding, okay, I'm going to go back to what I was doing 2 years ago. I'm going to come off the bench, score 15 to 20 points a game. And yes, there is a need for that. But I guess the question is, would he want to go back to that role, right? So this is all, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. They have to get a deal done first. But it is interesting because I think we all assume Tyler would definitely be in the trade, right? Because it just makes sense for a lot of reasons. But what if he's not? That's something I think we have to consider at this point.
Oh, he'll be sent somewhere. Maybe not Portland, but he'll be sent somewhere. Although I found it funny that somebody was including the Suns, and I'm like, well, you guys don't have picks till 2099. Like, what do you have to give? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, how can you even be a facilitator in this?
Well,
you don't have picks to give. You don't have any cap space.
It's all about Ayton. Right, and they're paying high
unloading Ayton. That's all it is.
Unloading Ayton and getting Nurkic back, right? Which Nurkic is like half the salary. So they shed, let's say, $15 million in raw salary, but for the tax, it's probably close to $100 million at this point. So
now
for them,
that's the guy I can see coming to Miami.
Yeah,
Nurkic. I think Nurkic will be part of the deal, because Portland will want to, okay, you want him? Well, the only way it happens is if we get to unload this salary with you guys. And then I think that's what's really going to happen. I think you will get Nurkic, which is another reason why Tyler has to go, because you're going to bring in another salary like it, because this is Portland's chance to unload that salary. And since you're rebuilding, and by the way, Miami could use your Nurkic, actually. Although... You
have a lot of. You have Thomas Bryant now. You have Orlando Robinson. It's just a lot. I mean, you needed centers last year, but this year you would have 4 centers in that spot.
Yeah, exactly. Now you'll have a lot of centers. Yeah. So you'll have to move Bam to power forward.
We'll see. But I'm saying though, like going back to Cronin, if he finds a way to get this done with Phoenix, and they can get DeAndre Ayton, and they can get the Heat's picks and a young player, 2 young players from the Heat, and offload your Nurkic to the Phoenix, that is a good return. I don't know. I don't know what's in that for Phoenix other than saving money, right? Or unless they get another piece in somewhere in the deal. But if that does come to fruition, that's a good trade for Portland. That's a really good
Right.
trade for Portland.
Are you hearing of any players out there that are waiting for this to happen to see if they may sign with the Heat after?
I mean, things have really dried up, right? I mean, the talk was about Christian Wood at first. I don't think there was a lot of interest there, which we've covered. Kelly Oubre, right? There was talk about him waiting to see what was going to happen with Damian
That
Lillard.
makes sense. That one makes sense.
But now, he's committed to Philly. I think, like we talked about it earlier this week, Goran, right? He's unsigned. He told me last year he wanted to play at least one more year, maybe a couple more years. He's made it known he wants to play for Miami. If Kyle Lowry is included in this trade, the Heat all of a sudden need a point guard on the roster, right? Another point guard on the roster. He could be a guy that's waiting to see how things unfold, where the Heat's roster stands after this type of deal. So he's the first one that comes to mind.
Going to be interesting, dude. Going to be interesting to see how this thing ends up working out. What are you working on there at the Miami Herald so folks can check you out, sir?
It's going to be a weekend of monitoring and making calls about this Damian Lillard situation. We'll see if we get a resolution in today, tomorrow, Sunday, by the end of the weekend. And then next week, I will begin my preview for training camp, for Media Day, all that stuff. Basketball is right around the corner.
Dude, have you called Damian Lillard to tell him, yo, bro, this thing's got to end. I got to walk around everywhere with my laptop. This is bullshit.
Oh, my God.
Come on. What are you doing
I'm actually supposed to go to the Dolphin game on Sunday. I don't know what I'm going to do. They won't let me bring my laptop to the Dolphin game, so that'll be...
wait, hold on a second, bro.
Yeah.
I got an idea for you, doggy. Yeah. Talk to, what's it called? Your Dolphins beat guy. Jesus.
Daniel.
And give him the laptop.
Yeah, might have to. Bring it in for me.
And then he'll bring it in for you. And then, God forbid, something happens.
Yeah.
Then he gives it to you, and you can start working or whatever.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins know you, bro. Whatever. Then you can approach somebody there in media relations. Hey, can I have a little space here for a second? And they'll accommodate you, bro. They're good people over there.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kidding.
You know what I mean?
It is interesting. It is interesting times because now for sure we are in high alert, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm, coordinating when I'm leaving the house, all that type of stuff. We're in that mode right now.
is young and spry, carrying an extra laptop in his bag.
He'll be fine, right?
Good, yeah. Okay. Now, Barry Jackson doesn't have time for that shit. You can't do it. No. Barry just doesn't have time for that. Okay. Because Barry doesn't even have bags. He has a laptop in his hand, pen, that.
Notepads, all that stuff. Yeah.
Have you ever seen him with a bag? He like literally carries.
He carries one over his shoulder a lot of times.
He does?
Yeah, like a laptop bag.
Well, he doesn't put anything in it because everything's in his hands. Because every time I see him, his hands are full.
Barry is just
he's walking all over the place.
He's another animal. He's different. He's built different.
He is absolutely different than the rest of you.
He's built different.
There is no doubt about it. So Oyefusi is the only way for you. Yeah, you're gonna have to talk to Daniel.
I'm gonna have to call him later today.
Yeah. See, there's the idea for you. Or you got to call the Dolphins to give you a credential, and you sit in the game, but you use the credential if you have to.
If I have to, only a need be basis. And I store my laptop in the media room.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There you go. That's it. We've got it all solved for you, bro.
Solutions.
That's bro. So we're here to get things done is what we do here on this program. Follow him on Twitter at Anthony_Chang. And of course, catch his exceptional work in the Miami Herald and catch him twice a week here doing his thing with our BaptistHealth.net/ortho Miami Heat report. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football, my man.
Thank you, Big O. You too. Have a good weekend.
You got it. There you go. The great Anthony Chang. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate you all out there. And when you talk about Baptist Health, folks, they are the official sports medicine provider for the Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, FIU, FAU, Orange Bowl, Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and Miami Open Tennis.
This is the